last minute thing, so maybe that's why.
Maybe you should come around here and say hi to everybody.
Okay.
How's the morning going?
Good. I'm feeling better. So that thing worked itself out.
Nice.
I did that twisty thing again
Did
last
it again?
night.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a few of those little things break loose.
How big are they? They must be
They're
microscopic.
Yeah, they're real small.
I don't
It's just
understand.
you get calcium built up in your inner ear and it can break loose and it just floats around in there. And then inside your semicircular canal, you have these tiny little like hair follicles that touch that, and that's how your body senses motion. And they can float around in there and they touch the hairs and you get vertigo because your brain gets confused.
Because I was thinking, there's no way I got an ear infection in a second.
No, it's a piece of calcium breaks loose. I remember when I
Crazy.
was doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu, guys would get that. The older guys would get that. I remember Billy got it one time.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
Hey, sports fans, Greg Medford from Medford Knife, MKT USA. Here's Amy jumping in here.
Morning.
How y'all doing? So we've got a Knife of the Week up. We thought we would let you guys know about. This was kind of Amy's brainchild. She's always liked how Marines look dressed up. I mean, what girl doesn't?
True.
I mean, I know there's veterans out there. I'm sorry, you guys, and you have Veterans Day, but according to the Marine Corps birthday and that special day just set aside for the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps dress blues.
It's the hottest thing ever. Sorry.
I've been out a few times in my dress blues, and I always wondered what it was like to be Bono from U2 or something. And when you go out in dress blues, that's what it's like. You're a fucking rock star. Like, everyone wants to buy you a drink. Everyone wants to do this. Everyone wants to do that. Especially if you got some fruit salad on your chest, all the guys like, and then you get out there and the ladies are like, girls are kind of goofy.
Well, I'll never forget the first Marine Corps ball I went to. I was like, what's happening?
It's like a man overload, I guess.
And then they started drinking, and I was like, okay, time to go.
That's totally right. I was like, I can't remember who said it. It was like Catherine the Great or something. She said, the cleanest bodies and the dirtiest minds, the highest morale and the lowest morals. It's just one thing after the other. Anyways, Amy was sitting around. She was daydreaming about Marines in dress blues. She was probably thinking about some younger, thinner version of me, like when I wasn't such a pork chop. And when I could fit in my dress blues. Or she was cleaning out the closet and saw my dress blues. And she thought, no better thing. It was like that commercial where it's like, do you want to watch sumo wrestling or bowling? And they conk the top of the TV and it's sumo wrestlers bowling. And she saw dress blues and she saw the USMC fighter flipper. And kind of came up with this cool idea. Now, it's a little subtle, so you won't... if you're wearing this, you don't feel like a gauche pimp. But we're donating $100 from every knife that's sold. Is that right, Amy?
Yeah, to the Semper Fi Fund.
To the Semper Fi Fund out at Balboa, out in San Diego. They take care of guys at the Balboa Hospital and transitioning from military to civilian life. The cool thing about the Semper Fi Fund, we made a donation.
Wait, I'm out.
Where are you going?
I got to make up money.
All right.
Have fun.
See you later.
Thank you.
The cool thing about the Semper Fi Fund, unlike the Wounded Warrior thing, is that 100 cents out of every dollar goes directly to Marines and sailors who are in need of it. Unlike many things out there where there are big executive or administrative fees. So I'll tell you a funny story. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this knife, and then I'm going to kick this off, and then you guys, we'll talk some politics if you like. If anybody wants to talk politics, just say yes on the politics, and I'll talk some politics with you. So I go to this Discount Tire several years ago, and I'm going to say this is 15 years ago. So it was right in the middle of the wars we had going on, both wars we had going on in the Middle East. And I'm in the Discount Tire, and I'm driving my old Chevy Silverado, which I had at the time, maybe 100,000 miles on it. I stop in to get some tires. Paul, you're totally right. My favorite fucking color is red crayons. And I stopped to get some tires, And I'm waiting in line. I get my tires. And then they put my tires on the truck. And while I'm in the line waiting, this lady behind me taps me on the shoulder. And I was wearing an aviation shirt or something. She said, "Oh, you're a veteran?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Oh, what'd you do?" I said, "Oh, I was in the Marines and I was a machine gunner in the infantry." Yes?
You looked sad when I left, so I thought I'd come back and hang out.
Oh, you're going to come back and hang out with us?
A little silly banter, you never know. Hi.
So anyway, I was telling the guys a story about the pickup truck thing. So anyway, I go to pay for my tires, and the guys, I do the walk around, and they said, "Oh, Mr. Medford, you're all set." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go and pay my bill." "Oh, you're all set." I said, No, I haven't paid yet." And I walked in, and I got there. So, "Mr. Medford, your bills, you're all set." I go, "Guys, I haven't paid." He said, "Oh, you're all taken care of." And I go, "Fuck you mean I'm all taken care of?"
I remember this.
And I was like, "I'm not taken care of. I got to pay my bill." And they said, "Sir, your bill's been paid." And I go, "Who paid my bill?" And they said, "That very nice lady behind you in line." The bill, I remember it was like $535.
Yeah.
And at the time, we weren't rolling in it, but we weren't broke dick either. So I said, "Okay."
That was a significant amount of money for us.
Yeah, it was some years back, and I said, "Okay." And I felt bad. I was on the way to go fly the airplane. I was on the way to go fly my Warbird, and I goof around.
It
I'm
made
like,
her feel good,
somebody
I'm
bought my
sure.
tires. So she left a little American flag and said, "Thank you for your service," and the guys handed it to me, and it didn't have any identifying information about her. And I was like, and if you remember, that movie had just come out, Pay It Forward, maybe like a
did
year or
it?
two before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I got the idea from. So anyways, I was like, I don't need this money. Somebody needs the money. So I took the money. I sent an email out. This is before the internet got big. I sent an email out to all my buddies. I was like, "Hey, guys," I told them the story. I said, "Anybody wants to kick in some money, we're going to match it and put it in." So we put like $1,000 in. And then all of a sudden I had $25,000. So everybody sent me all this money, and I put all the money in an envelope, and I sent it to the Semper Fi Fund. I started calling around, and I found this Semper Fi Fund, and I had found out about it because a couple of my friends, and one of my friends that I kind of made the original EOD for, Dave Lyon, who is since deceased, Dave said, "If you do anything, do it with the Semper Fi Fund. They've been awesome to me and my family and all my wounded buddies." And I called them up and talked to them a little bit, and they were like, "Yep, we're former Marines. We just give all the money passes right through to the veterans. There's no administrative fee." And I was like, "Okay, well, this seems like a good thing." So we sent the money out to them. So it was really fun. And these days, it would have probably been some sort of like viral go-around thing. But the social media wasn't kicking in those days. But it was great fun. I remember, and in typical Marine Corps fashion, nary a word from anybody. We sent them $25,000. Didn't call up, say, "Hey, this is..." I mean, we didn't do it for the thank yous. But in typical Marine Corps fashion, they were just like, "All right, we need the money." And they just carry on. And I was like, all right. So I've been recommending them for years, and I've had a lot of friends say, "Hey, Greg, what do you recommend for? I'm doing my tax deduction this year. Do you have any places you recommend?" I said, "Yeah, I recommend these guys a lot, actually." So that was kind of fun, and I don't know what got me talking about that.
Well, because Semper Fi Fund, and we're donating to Semper Fi Fund.
Oh, that's right. And so that's why we're going to kick in 10% from each one of these knives that sell. Now, unlike many Knife of the Week offerings, there are a few of these. Not a lot. Less than 10, right, Amy?
I think we have 5 or 6.
Okay.
So there's not many.
So we have a few of them, and you may see them pop up from time to time because I like it, and we're going to play with some variations of it. But it's just a really sexy knife, and it's got a little dress blues. It reminds me of these the black Armalou bands. Got like coral frame shoes and crimson stripe up the side of your sky blue dress blues, and a dark. Now this would be navy blue, black if you're an officer, right? Or Canton dark Canton blue, or black as an officer, and then a silver Eagle Globe and Anchor with some bronzed out, which look like the gold buttons. Anyways, it's just sexy.
And we're offering laser engraving on the pommel as a complimentary service wrapped into the price.
I did not know that, so you can get laser engraving too at no extra charge.
That's amazing.
Very, very nice. Very nice. So we've got that going on. What else is happening, Amy?
Oh, I'm so excited to go to Blade Show for the first. I haven't been to Blade Show,
Ever.
4 years. Yes, I have.
Have you been to Blade Show?
Twice.
Oh shit, she's been there.
I can remember because I was walking behind you in the halls. You're like, give me some T-shirts, and I'm like, because all the guys in the line, your T-shirts, everybody wants to meet Greg before the big show, and I was there helping out and handing out shirts and stuff.
Yep. So Amy's gonna be there. Like we're gonna have Lindsay.
Yep.
Tall Lindsay. We're gonna have
Dawn.
CrossFit Lindsay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Dawn. Jeff's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Jason's gonna be there. Amy's gonna be there. Last but not least, we've got our big Centurion dinner. Didn't we open up? We
I
got
think that's for everybody, right? Friday night is the dinner.
Okay, so Friday night, if you go to our website,
Maggiano's.
we got a bigger room at Maggiano's, so we could open it up for a few more people. So I think there are a few more openings if you guys want to come to that dinner. It costs a couple bucks. It just covers the expense. We don't make any money on it. And everybody.
I just picked the menu.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, well, what are we having for dinner? Oh, don't say. I don't want to know.
So good.
Maggiano's
It's
is
gonna be
great.
good.
So we're gonna have dinner at Maggiano's. This will be for Centurion members. Now, if you're not a Centurion member, go over to medforduniversity.com. Do the classes. You'll then. Hey, Jeffrey.
He's like, what?
So the Centurion dinner is Friday night. Become a Centurion, and then you can go on our website. Let me just check real quick here.
That's for everybody.
Hey, Jeff, how do we, do folks have to enter their Centurion number? How does that work?
It's just like if they were buying Knife of the Week. They click on it, goes to cart, we're reconciling after.
Oh, so they don't have to be a Centurion.
No, they do have to be a Centurion.
They do have to be a
Reconcile.
Centurion.
People know better.
Okay, so you need to be a Centurion.
Is it working?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. You'll need to be a Centurion. If you're not a Centurion, you can still sign up and
Thanks, Jeff.
pay for the dinner, but you have to be a graduate before you come to Play Show. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, is there anything you want to promote while I'm live here on Friday?
Well, we've got Blade Show. This week's Knife of the Week, which I think you were just doing.
Yep, I was just ripping Knife of the Week.
3 new models at Blade Show.
We've got 3 new models at Blade Show, which will be sexy. We have a
Custom
neck
t-shirts.
knife, a fixed blade, and a new folder.
Yep.
We have a really cool piece of American history going to be at the booth, so it should be awesome.
It's going to be our coolest booth ever.
Well, yeah, it will be.
Dope.
It's going to be a really cool booth. And what else? And we're bringing the A squad. We got the whole team.
We've got the A fucking team plus.
Yeah.
It's all black. We're gonna wear all black Friday and then dresses on Saturday.
I won't be wearing a dress. I don't know. I'm a
I'll
Marine.
wear a dress
I might
Friday.
wear a dress.
I
Oh,
might
you
wear a
got
dress.
kilt.
Oh fuck! I could wear a kilt,
You should bring your kilt.
What would I wear? Just clean underwear?
Oh my
clean
God.
underwear, or a caveman. If you have like a caveman schmuck.
So
You
it's
should
just
have had your
normal
kilt on
clothes.
today for the USMC Fighter Flipper.
Okay, so we've got all kinds of stuff going on. The Ultimate Fan Experience, you guys, just May
Oh, yeah,
31st
Make
is
the
the last day of that, and then we're going to be announcing our Make the Maker, so you can start thinking about that, which is a really cool. Amy, do you know about the Make the Maker thing?
No.
So we got Paragon has donated a really cool oven. Burr King has donated a knife maker grinder. Niagara Specialty Metals has donated a whole complement of steel for a maker to start making new
That's so
knives
nice.
with. We've got several other companies from the industry all kicking in the tools and stuff that they make. And we're looking for people to donate, or not to donate, to recommend their favorite small garage maker or budding new young maker or someone who's got real potential in the knife community. Or maybe they just had their barn burned down and they're really a good knife maker and they're just completely, tits up high and dry. And we're going to step in and make the maker. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in all the stuff to set up their whole shop. And then they're going to pitch a design to me. I'm going to pick a design, and then we've got DLT Trading has stepped in, and they want to buy the first run of knives.
Oh,
so we're
that's
going to
so
put
cool.
together a purchase and pick the knife, and then we're going to help kind of do a little consulting to have them put together a knife that's ready right out of the gate to hit the public and be a hot item.
That was so cool.
Yeah, it's called Make the Maker. So don't forget, head over to medfordknife.com, check out the Knife of the Week, because it is, it's FAS. Do you know what FAS is? Fuck all sexy. It's
I
fuck
know.
all sexy.
There we go. Yeah.
And what else is going on,
I don't
Amy?
know, did you
Anything
talk
exciting?
about the guy who did the tour yesterday? Anything about that yet or no?
Not yet, not
Okay.
yet. That'll be a different announcement.
cool.
Okay, so guys, that's the Medford Knife and Tool Chit Chat. be ready for January, because January we're going to rip our new knife company that is quickly filling up 2/3 of this building, and we'll probably go to a new building pretty soon. Just in time to be all set up and running. We're going to move it over to another building.
What's the matter with you, Medford?
I know. I don't know what's the matter with me. It's called the American Service Knife. I hope you guys really like it. It is an all-American attempt. It is an all-American product to make a run at the little pocket knife multi-tool that's red in color that is ubiquitous across the planet from a lovely company that's done a wonderful job from a neutral country on the other side of the world. We want to make one right here in America. Now, I'm going to talk some politics. Is there anything you want to say before you go? Oh, thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
Good morning to
Bye,
you.
guys. Good morning. It's a cool knife. There's only 5 available. Bye.
What a lovely day today, huh?
It's so nice out there, cool and breezy.
I was driving
Garage
in.
sale tomorrow.
I should have hopped on the motorbike to come in. I was like halfway here, and I was like, oh, God damn it, I should have been on it. It's like the last cool day before summer.
It'll be nice again tomorrow. It'll just be sunny.
Okay, sports fans, we're going to talk some politics now. So for all you knife guys that don't like me, that's a lot of you. For all you people that don't like me, that's a lot of you too. For all of you Americans that don't like me, shocking, that's a lot of you too. For the other 7 of you, let's hang out, let's chew on some crayons, let's talk a little politics. I want to talk about, you know what I want to talk about today? I'm going to talk about homelessness. I'm going to talk about it in the Greg Medford way. Homelessness, and if you are into knives and you don't want to hear politics, you don't want to hear my opinion, you don't want to hear anything, get off right now. Go back to work, get out of the bathroom, head back to head back to the office. Enough with your distraction. Here we go. Have anybody noticed that there's a lot of homeless people lately, like more than ever? You know, there's a couple reasons for it. I'm going to tell you a couple of factual things without pointing fingers, really, because stuff happens. It's a typical government thing, the unintended consequences of intervention. Anytime our intervention is greater than about 20 miles, it can have unintended consequences. Anytime we try to come up with a one solution to the vast texture of American problems, we can have a collapse, a calamity that happens because they don't think about the plethora of other problems that can rise up. So the Obama administration some time ago had changed some ruling and funding on homelessness. And what they did is they turned transitional homeless beds into permanent homeless beds. So they've incentivized or disincentivized or made it so that new people coming in would have less space to be taken care of, and people that were on would never leave. I guess, you know, I was reading about homelessness. You've got a big swath of mental illness, and some of that can be pointed to the Reagan eras, where a lot of the institutional long-term mental health care facilities had been closed down and defunded, which was not a bad idea at the time. When you looked at them, there was a lot of bad and evil kind of going on in them, and it was pretty awful. And if you brought a camera in them, it was spooky to see. So you have these kind of reactions in the marketplace. We've got this, you know, a mental health thing, and we have an opioid crisis. We have this drug use crisis. And the drug thing is exacerbated by, and why is there this explosion in homelessness? Well, drugs is a big component in addition to mental health. So 2 things have happened, right? Costs of homes have gone up dramatically everywhere, and jobs have gotten more kind of highfalutin finicky. This is now, we're into Greg theory, so I'm going to tell you some stuff that they may not have any data on, or there may be some data that they haven't connected the dots on, but I'm going to tell you, here's what I think's happened. As we've shifted to more high tech, as we've shifted to everything requiring a college degree, as we've shifted away from men with their sleeves rolled up digging and building, and as we've shifted from hard hammer swinging jobs and the business of making and building, and we've shifted to an information technology, Your C and D student from the American public school system in great measure has been left behind to fend for themselves. This is not capitalism. Just so you know, for you young Marxists out there who doubt the capitalist system, that's not capitalism. What there's been a shift away from making and doing to measuring, counting the financial sector and the information sector. And as we vacuumed up minds over to that, I call it the finger painting class. As we vacuumed up all this talent over to there, and we outsourced all of these jobs to other places, all the people who work those jobs here, unlike what Joe Biden thinks, they can just take a coding class, it's easy. Anyone can do it. They can't. So what happens is you have a certain amount of people who go into collapse. You have a certain amount of people who get into depression and drugs and all of that, and it snowballs. So as we look at the changing landscape of our country, and we see more information technology, more people going into information technology, more people in the financial sector, there's less people building and doing anything. And there are a great many people in this country who are not queued up internally, intellectually, or education-wise to be in the information sector or technology or financial institutions. And they get left behind. The fact is, we need blue-collar jobs in America. The Democrats have forgotten that. The Republicans have forgotten that. And Donald Trump knew it. And that's why there were old F-250s and hillbillies, as well as business owners like myself, all waving the Trump flag. That's why. We can't have a whole society focused on the shiniest points of the star. We have to have a society that provides for and respects the not shiny parts, the slightly tarnished parts, the little dirtier parts, the sleeves rolled up, dirty boot parts. And we've stopped respecting them. Now, I traverse those classes a little bit, as many of you do. As we sit and give our kids advice on what to do in life, we don't want them to get caught up in those old stereotypes and not find success. But people still have to build and make the country we live in. And as it gets old and tired, they have to rebuild and remake and reinvent. And we need great, hardworking guys and gals out there in construction. We need them out there in bridge building, road building. We don't need government infrastructure projects. We need a country that respects the working class. You know who respects the working class the most? Guys like me. Guys that, like you, that buy expensive handmade tools. We respect the working class because we work with them. It's a symbiotic relationship. We're connected. I love the working class. They like to work. They don't want handouts. They love their family. They work hard, drink a little hard, party a little hard, swear a little hard. They kick the door a little hard. They live a little rough. I like the working class. They're very real. I like to consider myself part of them, even though I traverse a couple of different strata in our little experiment we've got kicking here in North America. So honor the working class and buy these artisan handmade things. Buy these American things. You know, there's a couple kind of people throughout history. There's folks who look forward to the new and folks who hold on to the past. And my goal, as I've noticed that and witnessed that in my lifetime, is to never be one or the other. I want to be both all the time. I want to hold on to the very best of the past and covet it. I want to embrace the new that makes sense, but I don't want to abandon either. I don't want to be a troglodyte and all things new are bad. And I don't want to be a hipster. All things, I don't want to be kind of a technocrat. All things old are bad. There's something in the middle. The truth is, Aristotle's golden mean is true. The truth lies between the two extremes, somewhere in the middle. If we start honoring dirty fingernails and dirty hands, dirty work, and blue-collar jobs, where people are taking care of their families and working hard, if we start honoring those, if we stop being institutionally classist against them. You talk about racism. I don't see any institutional racism in this country. There's maybe some institutional reverse discrimination going on. What I see is classism of the worst kind. I see an effete, manicured fingernail, bespoke suit-wearing class of complete chowderheads who have disregard for the people they were sent there on a sacred mission to look out for. To look out for folks who are busy living life, who have given them their vote to look out for them. And they've abandoned their mission. The classism has got to stop. The false claims of racism have got to stop. Black people can't be sucked into being victims because someone told them they are. Poverty, poor people, and the low working class, we have to keep them in mind as we change the landscape of commerce in this country. And we have to respect and not get rid of all the dirty jobs. Because there are folks who do them and are happy and raise their families. And they raise their kids. And they buy Budweiser. And they drive Chevrolet and Ford pickups. And we can forget it in the cities. We can forget it if we live in the major metropolitan areas of this country. I flew around the country for years in a little airplane, little radial engine, old military airplanes. I've landed every place. I've been all over the country. And I can tell you without a doubt, small town America is the friendliest place I've ever been on planet Earth. I'd land places in my airplane and come taxiing up, and some kid would come up and throw me the keys to a car. They didn't ask me if I had a license. They didn't ask my name. They didn't ask me if I had insurance. Hey, go down to Moe's, a couple miles down. We'll have your airplane all fueled up and wiped off when you get back. That happened everywhere. This country's full of amazing people. A lot of you know this. We fly over them and we forget about them. I don't forget about them. I think every Hollywood faker, every politician, they ought to take off their suit. They ought to take off their Oliver People sunglasses, and they ought to throw on a t-shirt and some jeans, and they ought to go driving across this country and meet the regular people. Spend a little time with the regular people. Stop and help some farmer. For a day. It'll change your opinion on people. We got to step in other people's shoes. Everybody's not going to be a banker. Thank God. Everybody's not going to be into tech. Thank goodness. These people, the ruling class, the elite class, the leftists, have disdain for everyone, including the quiet millions who actually feed and take care of them. They stop and pick up their organic milk, and they pick up their chai tea and their chai latte, and they pick up their prime steak, and they stop in Costco and get this, and it's all done by folks with dirty hands, and they disrespect the very people that feed them. We have to make sure we don't do that too. And as our country shifts into all this technology and information and finance, We leave a group of people behind who get addicted to drugs and stand on street corners, and we need to be mindful of that. They don't need charity. They need us to think bigger. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. He's got a business that's growing, and he says I mentor him a little bit. We just talk. And I was saying, imagine how different the world would be if the people in charge, I'm in charge of my little tiny bubble, and other people in charge of bigger and bigger bubbles. Imagine if the people in charge of their bubbles decided, hey, this year, I don't need to make as much money. I want to make better decisions for the world this year. Imagine that. How different the world would be. Now, I already do that. I already say, hey, fuck you, I don't need to make all the money in the world. I'm okay. Here's my role to myself. I will be true. I don't want to do my American thing. That's what I can do. I have a small group of people. But what about Jeff Bezos sitting up there in Amazon? What could Jeff Bezos do that could change the world? Because as we elect feckless leaders, or we allow them to surreptitiously take charge so that the Politburo of the Democrat Party can run this country, as they run it into the ground and their feckless leadership and their bumbling, stumbling leaders who practice out of ideology instead of reality, as they project weakness globally, and Iran rises and China rises and flex their muscle, and as terrorists burn the Middle East and attack Israel, and as all of these things happen because of our feckless leadership, imagine what would happen if someone like Jeff Bezos said, hey, we're an American company, we provide a global service, and we're not a court, we're not going to have a court of law, but we're going to have like a 5-tier appeal process, and we're going to stop pirated products from being sold on our site. Imagine if they did that. I mean, listen, they've got algorithms to know who's conservative and who's not. They've got algorithms to know who's into gay porn, who's into sneakers. They know what you're up to, what you're about. How hard is it for them? They're not a court. They don't have to. How hard is it for them to find out? How hard is it? They know. They know who's got the coolest mousetrap. They know who had it first. It's not that hard for them to know who's first. And say, hey, we're not going to sell Chinese knockoffs. We understand globally the biggest source of knockoffs on planet Earth is China. It's not the United States. So we're going to protect stuff from the country from which we come from being pirated. All they'd have to do is do that. Do you know how the world would change if one company was responsible? And what they do under the guise of making more money is say, well, we couldn't do that. We can't ever police the world. We can't do this. Yes, they can. They could police their site from theft, and they don't. We used to watch TV back in the 70s. There's always some guy in some story stealing stuff or parting out cars, and they'd have to fence it. You have to fence it to a pawn shop or someplace that brokered stolen goods on the black market. They stopped stealing goods. They started stealing ideas. The rules are too heavy here. They couldn't do it here. They offshored the work. They offshored the stealing to another place. Instead of stealing our stuff, they steal your idea. Instead of making it here, they get it made by slave labor. They have slave labor, sell it here. And they've now circumvented all intellectual protection. And they've put your company out of business. And the mousetrap is just one example. Imagine if every company owner kind of sat back, wore a t-shirt to work, hoisted the Pirates flag out front, the Jolly Roger, stuck the middle finger up to the world and said, I don't need to make all the money in the world. I want to do something good and I just want to make enough for my crew. Imagine how different the world would be. Greg Medford, Medford 9, MKT USA, that's my Friday speech, you filthy animals. Have a safe weekend. Love your family.